Hey everyone, welcome to the Paid Forward Society, the podcast where we explore the many facets of leadership as we talk to inspiring managers, entrepreneurs, coaches, veterans, and athletes who empower their teams and deliver results. Together, we discover the keys to success through empathy, purpose, and care. I'm your host, Romain Jourdan, and today I'm thrilled to have a true powerhouse of leadership and inspiration with us. Please welcome Sam Nchinda, an amazing human leader who seamlessly combines corporate success with an impressive athletic background. Sam, it's an honor to have you here.
Thank you for having me, Roma, and I look forward to having fun, sharing these moments with you.
Thank you, Sam. So, Sam, people may know you from your great career at Orange Business Services, where you are now a vice president for solutions in America, if I get it correctly. But I think what sets you apart is your infectious energy, can-do attitude, and that trademark smile. So, it's always a picture of you that I have in my mind. It's always you seeing you, smiling. So that's good.
Thanks very much. It's a pleasure. And yes, I have a lot of energy and I like a lot of intensity, and I like to kind of share that energy with everybody that I'm around. So I'm looking forward to having our discussion today.
And did I mention that you represented Cameroon in multiple Olympic Games as a track and field athlete? So that's very incredible. And I want to talk about that and how, as a leader, you are leveraging your experience as an athlete.
Yeah, certainly it was one of my most amazing experiences is sort of getting to participate in 2 Olympic Games. And I'll share a little bit. Always a little humbled when I have to share about it, but we will talk about it.
Sam, your leadership journey is a testament to determination and striving for excellence. So I know you have inspired many individuals along the way, and me included. So that's why I'm super excited to have you here today. And thank you for making the journey to San Francisco today.
What I always loved having as we were kind of building the team was really having just super amazing, smart people part of the team. Of course, you were one of the smartest in the teams. So I was really looking for people that were super smart, also full of energy, fun, and just had vision and perspective for the future. So I learned a lot from being around young folk like yourselves with all that drive and energy and creativity. I just loved the young people that had a lot of creativity. And it just built amazing teams. Yeah.
So I would love to talk about that, how you build amazing team. That's, I think, it's very rewarding, inspiring to do this, and incredibly difficult as well. So I'd love to discuss about that. And let's uncover the wisdom and inspiration that you have in store for us. And Sam, again, welcome to the Paid Forward Society.
Thanks so much. Looking forward to it.
So I'd like to start, I do always a quick intro, but I love to give an opportunity for my guests to introduce themselves. So who are you, Sam?
Wow, who am I? So, first of all, Sam Nchinda. I'm originally from Cameroon, and clearly my background, where I'm from, has guided me through my journey and has impacted who I am, everything I do, how I lead. And basically my entire life's perspectives is one of an African. So that's my starting point. So grew up in Cameroon, moved from Cameroon to Switzerland, Geneva when I was about 14 years old. My parents shipped me off to boarding school in England.
Wow.
So I was in high school in England, in boarding school at 14 years old. I loved it because it was the first time I was away from home and I had total freedom. So I loved it and I thrived. After high school, I stayed in London for university. I did a bachelor's, a master's. As soon as I finished university in England, I was back in Switzerland to start working. In between, while I was in high school and university, that's when I kind of discovered my passion for sport. Of course, being a Cameroonian, started with football. Americans would call it soccer. In Cameroonians, we all think we're the best soccer players in the world. So that's where I started. Also did, the traditional English sports like rugby and cricket. But yeah, I did everything. I did all the sports, rugby, cricket, and everything while I was in England. But very quickly, everybody realized that I was a little bit quick. And so, by accident, I wandered into the wonderful world on track and field. And, it just clicked. I just connected with track and field from, the first day the lady who spotted me as a trainer said, "Do you want to come out and work out with us?" It just stayed with me, and I just discovered a passion for track. And I continued. That's another part of the story that we will tell.
Yeah.
And then in between, I got back to Geneva, started work, went through a number of, different roles, in a software company, in BT, ended up in Global One, Orange, and the rest is history. 24 years later, I'm in Atlanta, United States. And as you said, I'm vice president of digital and communication services. So responsible for all of our product portfolio in the Americas. And I'm also responsible for sales engineering, and pre-sales in the region. So that's a little bit about me. I have two wonderful daughters, 22 and 13. And, fun fact, my wife is also from the same village as myself in Cameroon. We didn't know ourselves in Cameroon. She made her way to the United States where she was in college, Howard University. And we met in Barcelona, 92 at the Olympic Games. She was also on the Olympic team.
Really?
And so we love Barcelona. We both love, of course, track and field. I had 10 seconds. She was a 400 meters runner. So I had 10 seconds to catch her. If not, I would have lost her, and I did.
Wow.
We're happily married.
Well, that's incredible story. Thanks for sharing. That's good. I didn't know about that, actually.
It's fate because, from the same village in Cameroon, a few miles apart, we didn't know each other. I ended up in Switzerland. She was in the United States, and we meet in Barcelona. So definitely fate. The hand of God at work, and we're still happily married after more than 22 years.
Congrats. Yeah, I just turned 10, my wife, but that's good. Congrats, that's a great story. So tell me about your first experience as a leader. When was that?
Wow, my first experience as a leader, let me see. I joined Orange in 98, and it must have been probably the early 2000s. I got into it by I'd almost say by accident. I think from a character perspective, yes, I do have the leadership traits by a character, but I wasn't planning to be a leader. The position opened, and somebody thought that it should be me, and they suggested, "Hey, why don't you run the professional services team in Switzerland?" I'm like, "Yeah, why not? Let's do that." And that's how I got into it. And so not unplanned, but I think naturally I have the qualities because I really like to get things done. I like to get things done, and I don't wait to get asked to get things done. I just instinctively take charge, organize things, and let's go get it done to get the results. And so that's probably how I got the role.
And how do you, tell me more about this experience, because it's often the case that we recognize people that are really great performers as individual contributors, and we promote them into management. And yes, you have clearly some leadership traits, but how do you let go sometimes? Because, you need to get people do the things and not you anymore. So Can you talk about it?
Yeah, that's probably the area that I've had to work at most, because, in addition to having the qualities of vision and the big picture, I always like to understand the detail. I always like to understand the detail, and I really don't like to have any part of what we do something that I'm not able to do myself. And so, one of the areas that I've had to work at most is delegating and trusting, the team that it will get done. It will get done extremely well. And I don't need to have my hand in everything, for it to be successful. Of course, the initial, when you start out as a manager, because you're managing very small teams, it's a lot of, you kind of tend to want to have your finger everywhere, your finger on the pulse, and know everything and be everywhere. As the size of your team grows, and also as you mature and have confidence in who you are as a leader, you learn, well, I was able to learn to let go, to trust people. And also, I believe that as the team changed to become more of my team, where I was the person that brought the people on board, I automatically trusted, because I was hiring for the best people that I basically, I always said I wanted people in the team that were smarter than me, worked harder than me, were just a lot more creative than I was. So I was really looking for people that were a factor of X beyond what my own capabilities were. And so as soon as I did that, you just have to let go. You have to let go and let them also just let their talent shine, because if you did not let them reach their height of their powers, they would leave. So one, it was easy to do. Two, it was very obvious that I had to do it, because if not, they would all leave. And three, I knew that we would be a much better organization if everybody was really stretching and just overachieving. We would be a much better team and a much better organization. And so for me, it was a learning process. Happened rather rapidly, but I'm just pleased where I'm able to get to by having given the teams the power to grow, to develop, and empowering and delegating them to be very successful.
So how did you hire? I mean, you said that you wanted smarter, creative people, passionate people, but how do you do that specifically? What are some of the things that you recognize, or what are the patterns that you were looking for when you were hiring?
So the things I was looking for when I was hiring, actually, some of the things I was looking for when I was hiring was very structured, and then other parts of it was very unstructured. So let me talk a little bit about that. The structured things that I was looking for, and again, from my experience as an athlete, you prepare for 4 years to get to the Olympic Games for 10 seconds. And when you get there, you better be ready, else you fail spectacularly. So probably the first thing I'm looking for in an interview is that the person on the other side of the table has prepared. He's done all his homework. He knows everything about the organization. He knows everything about me. He knows, and he has a plan in his mind how he's going to be successful. So that's the first thing I'm looking for, is preparation, because again, and it's probably too much of a translation of my experiences as an athlete that I'm bringing into the professional life, is that level of preparation. And for me, it's something that is important, because from two aspects. First of all, I believe any organization that doesn't plan and prepare extensively will fail. And the other area that I'm really passionate about is our customers. And I believe that if you go into a customer meeting and you are not planned and ready to have a conversation that is relevant to their customer, you're wasting their time. And so you ultimately fail if you're not prepared, one, as an organization, and two, working with your customers and demonstrating that, yep, you understand them, you understand their challenges. Yes, you want to listen and understand how and have the dialogue and communication, how you can help them, but you're prepared and you've done your homework. So that is that aspect of planning and preparation. The second aspect, which is more instinctive, one is, and some of these are really difficult to assess, but one is looking for really smart people and looking for really smart people, who are curious, who are creative. And so it's having conversations, I would say left field conversations. So, we'll start a dialogue in one direction and end up in a different place, pivot rapidly to have discussions in multiple different areas. Sometimes go into depth. Of course, we're technologists, so go into depth into what's happening in the world of tech. And so I pivot rapidly and to understand and see how they react. What sort of, conversations do we have? Are they deep conversations? I also like to have deep, meaningful conversations. And, with all these different approaches, I feel I'm generally able to gauge, just that level of, creativity, passion, intensity, and basically smarts. And that's usually sort of my approach to hiring. And I've generally been able to put together pretty amazing teams, just as passionate as I am and definitely a lot smarter than I am in all the different areas that, I've had the pleasure to work in.
Nice. So hiring is the first step.
Yes.
It's tricky, but you can do it. The trickiest is to build a team out of those individuals. So what are some of your recipes to make that happen?
Yeah, for team building, you're absolutely right. And for me, that's also been quite a significant learning process because I did an individual sport.
Yeah.
And I did an individual sport and everything depended on me. And, if I was good, I succeeded. When I was awful, I failed. However, although it's an individual sport, you really needed to have a good team around you. So okay, my family supported me. You need to have a good coach. You needed to have good teammates. Because it's tough. It's tough. It's lonely. I could tell you those dark winter nights in the Salève, are brutal.
Yeah.
And so you really need to have a whole team around you with all sorts of personalities, to get you through and allow you to be successful and do your best. And so although I did a team sport, needed an individual sport, needed this team environment to succeed. And that translates nicely within the enterprise because within the enterprise, within any team, you have multiple types of roles. And you need to complement each other. And so you don't need to be, you having the same type of personalities, the same type of skills. It's harder to make all of that combination be successful than having the multiple different personalities, the different skill sets, and giving each person the space and the latitude to develop and exhibit their full talent is what makes that chemistry very, very different, very, very difficult. How I come about it is instinctively I'm a people person in that I read people. I don't talk as much, although you wouldn't think so, but I don't talk so much. I listen, I ask questions, and I naturally read people fairly well to understand what are the skills, where do we need to position them so that they're successful? what is the quiet word that is needed so that they feel safe and comfortable enough to express themselves, free the talent they have. And so naturally, I'm a team builder because I'm able to understand people and position them in the right place for them to be successful. And then encourage them. For me, one thing that is so critical is encouragement. Failure is okay. I'll always, again, being the leader of the team, I'll always, when things go wrong, it's on me. And I'll always encourage the team to take a risk, to learn from those risks, to become better every time, to push themselves hard. And I probably push everyone a little bit too hard, but to push themselves hard and not be afraid. I think they really need to be able to express themselves and just go do. So I'm more oriented to action and results than planning. Although, yes, we do got a plan, but I kind of encourage them to be successful. I push them hard and encourage them to be successful without any fears of what the consequences would be, because we'll figure it out if it does go wrong.
Yeah. And I think you were a great example of leading by example, because every time you would come to the office, you were working on big stuff and pushing stuff and going to customers with a team, and so you were there. You were on the field.
Yeah, and again, back to my sporting example. Like you're there, your coach is there, your team is there. We win together, and so I definitely. Yeah, I love leading from the front. I love being out there at the front. And again, what we do is amazing. I think we have the most awesome combination of activities in the customer. I really love the fact that in our roles, we have this direct connection with all the customers that we have to serve. Mainly because they're all in different segments. They all have different challenges, and it's all a learning experience. So you learn so much about all the different market areas that our customers are in. So we learn about the financial services, about manufacturing, about transport, about mining and oil. And we learn. So every day is a day for learning. And so that's just fabulous. And with the tech as well. The tech is just amazing how you can employ tech to change lives, to change the world, to help our customers get better and do more. So when you take the combination of all that, is just we're blessed to do what we do. And so I love being out in the front. I love meeting our customers, our partners, and being with the team. It's just a blessing every day.
Yeah. You should lead a team of technical evangelists. All right. So we talk about how you build teams. So thank you for sharing that. I think the next step when you build a team, and I'd like to get from you, some words of wisdom on how you do that, how you scale through others, because at some point the size of the team is big enough that you need managers as well that report to you. So tell us about your story, in this journey.
Yeah, I've had the pleasure again of having multiple experiences as part of that journey. One in scaling, first of all, in Switzerland, then scaling globally and having to deal with all the different cultures and ways of working and and rules and regulations, even in all these different cultures, in all these different countries. And so yeah, for me, it's dual. It's how I scale in leading these large global teams is dual. First of all, your leadership team, you need to have a very, very strong leadership team that trusts and likes each other. because one, we spend so much time together, that you really need to like each other. Although it's not a must, but you work so much better when you do. Secondly, that trust has to be built across the entire team so that everybody can speak up and share what's working and what's not working. So there really has to be that trust that we will share successes, failures, what's working, what's not working, who did well and who did not, who dropped the ball, so that we all collectively learn and get better. So your leadership team really has to just have all those qualities, because they're the ones that are going to transfer that culture and those qualities amongst their team. And then the two other things for me, the first one is also openness. I always tell the entire team, not just my leadership team, I tell my entire team that I'm available 24/7, night and day, weekends, to share, to talk, to bring the successes, the challenges, the difficulties. And as I always say, hey, we're all smart. We'll figure it out together. So for me, it's that openness, across the whole team, top to bottom, that we're comfortable enough with each other that anybody can call me up at any time or come see me at any time, that we figure everything out together, that everybody's really comfortable in their role, that they can reach out to any other person in the team for help. And really that we function as a team and try to break down the barriers of hierarchy. Hierarchy is definitely something that slows us down. We just need to collectively function, and share so that we're successful. So, having a strong leadership team with a lot of trust and openness, having this openness top to bottom, that allows people to express themselves, give of their best, and share and not be afraid to fail and succeed. For me, those are some of the ingredients that allows to scale and really build and the final thing, and really sorry, I'm sharing this, the final thing, which is most important is, and this is particularly for global teams, is awareness of culture. Mm-hmm. Awareness and respect, not just the awareness, but the deep respect of different cultures. I think that is so fundamental in allowing everybody to be successful, because everybody comes at it from a different culture, from a different point of view. And so we need to respect all these, understand, and respect all these different cultures, while still emphasizing to everybody that we're all in here to give it our best. I respect your culture. I respect your views. And so I would never put you in a position personally, culturally, in a position of difficulty. And we're all here to succeed. So we're all leaning in to make sure that we get to that, the goal that we all agreed we're going to get to.
That's gold. So those principles or this culture that you build, how do you make sure that everyone, is empowered to feel that they can have that openness, they can speak up if something goes wrong? You said hierarchy slows us down. I do believe in that as well. We discussed that with Remy in the previous episode, where he has built an organization which is really flat. They have more than 200 people, and they have only 2 levels of management. So they don't want to have more. So how do you build that?
For me, what's important is having direct relationships, top to bottom and all across. So I would share and reach out to everyone within the team, irrespective of where they are in the organization or in the hierarchy. I would reach out to them directly. I would ask questions of them directly. I'd ask them to teach me things directly, and that helps builds everyone's confidence. They're teaching the leader of the team. They're sharing and engaging directly with the leader of the team. That instills confidence and also recognition. Everyone needs to feel recognized within the team. And so it's not just their manager that's recognizing, but I'm reaching out to them directly and say, hey, I understand I know what you do. Tell me about this. How is it working? Teach me about this thing that I don't know, which is what they're good at or what they do every day. So I'm reaching out to every person on the team, sharing and exchanging, and making sure that is visible so that everyone sees that we are working as a team. There's no barriers. You have these direct connections. Because direct connections allows things to go faster. When you have to go through the manager and then go through several layers and also be concerned about going laterally, etc., it just slows you down. And people feel inhibited if they can only talk to their manager and the manager talks to their manager and then it comes all the way up. If they have that direct route, they feel empowered. They feel recognized. They feel engaged. Always share the why. I'm always sharing the why with everyone. Why are we doing this? Where are we headed? What's the vision? And constantly asking for feedback and inputs on how we can make it better. So one of my favorite lines is, I never invented anything. So you are all as smart as I am. So please, share ideas, better ways of working, your thoughts, so that we can make it better and we can get there faster, and be even more successful. So for me, just those direct connections, encouraging and recognizing every single person as being so fundamental and critical to the success of what we're trying to do is important in having this team raise up having each person and the whole team raise up to a higher level.
So I can certainly talk about the offsites that you used to organize in Switzerland. They were super good.
A lot of fun.
A lot of fun, but also a lot of recognition as well. They were really good times, and also, I mean, it was not only just for fun. It was also good opportunities to meet each other, get to know everyone, and exchange, and also think about, discuss difficult topics sometimes.
Absolutely. We were design thinking before design thinking became cool. We would get into these offsites. We would kind of have brainstorm like crazy, have 1,000 ideas, and then just after that focus and collectively try to find, okay, what are the best ideas that will actually move us forward faster. And it was crazy successful. And so, we were, as a team, we were design thinking before it became cool. We were making sure that every single person on the team was leaning in. We're trying to, again, passion is infectious. And so, as a team, we were just passionate and we're having fun and we were really intense and driving towards a common goal. And that made all of us better. It was great.
Yeah, that's true.
It is great.
And I think we were, the best performing country, right? In Europe.
Oh yeah, by far. I remember I used to give everybody a hard time, tell them all the time how we were the best, and they were a little jealous because we were the smallest country, but we did pretty well.
Yeah. Oh, that was amazing time. I think a question that I'd like to ask you is it's a difficult question.
Oh, go ahead. I like difficult questions.
How this culture can survive someone like you, as in when you move on to something else, to do something else. How do you make sure that this culture will survive you leaving?
Wow, that is a tough question. That is a tough question because ultimately, teams and organizations, they're in the image of their leader. That's without a doubt. And so when the leader, when he moves out, depending on who takes over the role, that culture and way of working may continue, or a new leader can come in place with a different view and take things in a different direction. So I'm humble enough to know that there are multiple roads, there are multiple paths to get to the destination. And so when I do leave, it may change. Clearly, and even the people that you have around you within your leadership team, they embrace the culture, they embrace the way of working, but they have their own style.
Yeah.
And style is also a different way of working, and everybody's style. I encourage everybody. You can only be. You can only succeed if you're true to yourself. If you are yourself every day, if you bring yourself to work every day, that's the way you could succeed. You cannot be in the image of somebody else. You cannot succeed by trying to copy somebody else or be like somebody else. So definitely, I always encourage everyone to keep their own style while we're down this journey. So your question is very difficult. I think it may change. The culture will adopt the style of the new leaders. I hope that I leave one or two qualities that do continue. So for me, the qualities I hold most important is passion for our customer. Just the respect and the respect and relationships that we have as a team, that desire to see everyone be successful, because really everyone needs to. We need to strive that everyone, is at their own level of happiness within what we're doing, and so they're comfortable within that. So for me, it's the key qualities of my leadership style that I hope continue, and not just the way I do things that continue.
That's good. Another tough question.
We're now deeply into it. Let's go.
No, I want to go back to what you said earlier about when you were an athlete and there were lonely times. And as I talked to Mark Seeger in the previous episode, being a leader can be lonely sometimes.
Yes, extremely.
So how do you cope with that? And how do you, what are some of the words of wisdom you could share on that?
Wow, this is probably you got me here. This is probably the most difficult question, because it's something that I wrestle with every day. Because you're right, leadership is lonely, and just as doing an individual sport is lonely, especially when you have the bad times. In sport, you have a lot of injury. At elite level, you have a lot of injury, and those are lonely times when you're going through on your own, and everybody else is working out, and you see the date coming closer, and you still cannot walk. So there are certainly lonely moments that you can directly link or associate with some of the lonely moments in leadership, where either you have failures, or when you're questioning yourself in terms of the path you've taken, where you're at, the strategy. So there are a lot of moments, definitely, of loneliness. Personally, I don't think the way I have been able to deal with it, and for me, it's not a good answer, but it's the way I've been able to deal with it because I haven't found the magic formula. So maybe you can help me out here. The way I've been able to deal with it is deep down. I have deep down convictions and beliefs. So again, it comes from my background and who I am, being a Christian, being an African, and being through my life's journeys has really given me this deep down conviction during those tough and lonely moments. Again, I'm a Christian and I believe my God will always get me through, but that's not maybe the perfect answer for everybody. Secondly, I'm an African and the continent of Africa, we're going through, we're going the difficult situations in Africa. We of course we have situations of life and death, of extreme poverty. And so when I kind of put things in perspective, it's relative. It's like, wow, I'm so blessed and fortunate. And, okay, I'm going to use the word, although it's a bad word right now in the United States, but privileged to be where I am. And so through these moments of difficulty, I'm able to, in French, we say relativiser. I'm able to be thankful of where I am. I'm able to be confident in that I will make the right decisions. I will get past these moments of difficulties. My God will take me through. I have enough experiences and strength to be able to go past these moments. I will make the right decision. Again, being a former athlete, you're always overconfident. In my mind, I was Olympic champion. I didn't get there, but you're always so you're always sure that you will get past these moments. So for me, I've been able to get past these challenges because of all my background of what I have been through. Clearly, it's not a formula that you could teach. And it's not a formula that works because not everybody has been through my life's journeys or, through my context and is able to kind of draw strengths from the different places that I draw my strengths from. But for me, that's where it all comes from. It's kind of deep, but and it's you cannot teach that at business school.
No, clearly not. Clearly not. But I was expecting that as a former athlete, you would have maybe some supporting system like coach, or because that's something I recently discovered, and I'm leveraging it to cope with the loneliness of being a leader, and having a coach where you can just talk about things and question. I mean, everyone has a different system or mechanism to cope with that. But I found that super useful to me, where I know that I can give them a call and say, hey, I don't feel good about that, and because there were some decisions to be made, or some decisions are tough to make as a leader. I mean, you are a human after all, so you need to live with them, and I, at least for me, I like to push those ideas out and out of my brain, and no, maybe I'm not necessarily looking for answers in front of me from the coach, but at least I have someone to talk to, and it's not my wife, it's not friends, because it's different. But also I found recently also that having other leaders to talk to is at least helps me. So
I do that. I use that mainly during my moments of ideation, what I call ideation. Sort of when, and these moments of ideation, of course, they happen at different instances. It could be, okay, I'm at a blank page and I need to get creative and think of something new. And then I bounce ideas with somebody, either another leader, somebody that, comes at it with a different perspective. And so in my moments of ideation, when I need to have these moments of ideation, I would bounce ideas off other people, other leaders. Sometimes when I just got to make a decision, it's like I'll bounce an idea by them. Again, just to challenge myself, because again, I love to challenge my own views and debate my views. And I feel that kind of strengthens or makes me go in a different direction, because, they come with different ideas, thoughts, perspectives. And also I get to the bottom of, I get my views challenged and I have to argue it. And at the end of those conversations, you've either strengthened or you have a different angle. So for me, it's in those moments where I like to have, exchanges and discussions with other leaders, less in my moments of doubt or loneliness. Because for me, it's all back to life's experiences. Mm-hmm. A coach, as an athlete, a coach, generally, you work with your coach on a plan. So with your coach, and it's almost like the way you probably do it with your CEO. You work with a plan and say, okay, this year, this is where I want to, this is where I want to get to. For me, it's a time or it's, winning a major event. So you say, okay, this is where I want to get to. We build the plan, and with the coach, we're executing on the plan. So it's like, okay, month one, this is where we're at. This is where we're at. This is where we execute. And so that's really, sort of my perspective of a coach is just that planning and execution of the plan and the following through of the plan. Sort of the mentors and leaders that I have is in ideation.
Okay.
And, the moments of loneliness, I dig deep, into who I am and the core of who I am and my background and family, and we get out of it. So I have those kind of slightly different perspective to it. But certainly I think, everybody really needs, from my perspective in leadership, and also within, sort of everybody in the team, everybody needs to get to understand who they are. For me, one of the, we're talking about how we hire, and it's something that I always look to as well. Not even only in the hiring, but within the team, is self-awareness and acceptance of who we are. You got to be self-aware. You got to know yourself. And the most difficult is acknowledge the areas of weakness. I think people are challenged with it at times, but I know where I'm weak, and I admit it, freely and openly. And it's like, look, I'm not good at that. So, self-awareness is so important. And back to the question of how you deal with loneliness, everybody has to understand themselves and what is required to get out of these moments of difficulty to get to a better place. There is no formula that would work for everyone. They're just different ways of doing it, and everybody has to really, and again, the self-awareness is not a superficial self-awareness. It's deep down, know yourself and acknowledge your weaknesses and your strengths, but mainly your weaknesses, because as humans, we have a challenge in admitting that we're flawed, but we are flawed, and we got to accept it.
Yeah. I agree. I had a very similar discussion with another guest on my show, Daryl Hammett. He's in Dallas, so closer to you. He's a director at AWS, and know yourself is and self-awareness is super important for
it is.
For
it
that.
is, and it's a difficult one, because as humans, I think particularly a trait for men, and again, I hate to stereotype, but there are differences. There's small differences. The differences are not wide, so let's not go crazy. But men, we have a little bit more ego, and so admitting your weaknesses and your flaws, because again, the stereotype is pushing us to be strong, and the strong silent types, we tend not to accept that we're flawed. So yeah, that self-awareness is really important. Knowing our weaknesses and just, accepting those weaknesses and working with them is key.
What else can you tell us about lesson learned from sports and being an athlete that you apply as a leader?
Of course, for me, and I think we've covered maybe a lot of this, and you said it yourself. Of course, is you got to be passionate. You got to love you got to love what you're doing, and you got to go at it with passion, because that just helps. It just makes things so much easier. You're just so much more successful. It's so much more and again, as I think I said it earlier, it's infectious. Passion is infectious. And so as leaders, I think we need to be passionate, and that really motivates the team. It's infectious with our customers. And it just, that aura around the people that are passionate, it's great to be in that circle. So, that's one thing that I certainly, strive to be every day. Another area is which I have to work at, is just, curiosity and creativity.
Really? Curiosity? You?
Yeah, probably less the curiosity, but creativity. I don't think I'm a naturally, creative type of person. Maybe instinctively creative, but sort of not. And again, I'm not sure where I'm going with this, but I may be completely off piste. But I think creativity for me is really important. We really just got to be, and maybe you're right. We got to be thinking all the time. We got to be trying to figure out different ways of doing things. We just got to be thinking and questioning permanently all the time. Because that's how great ideas are born. That's how, we work better. We come up with new ways of doing things. So that creativity and is just so important, for me.
Yeah. But I think that, it's also, a problem. And let me explain. I believe that I'm very creative. I have many ideas.
You absolutely are, because I could testify to having to deal with you every day.
but that's a challenge as a leader, because I come up with the ideas, and I'm still trying to figure out new things, but what I've found and where I need to improve as a leader is how I can foster that creativity in my team, because it has to come from them as well. Because I made some mistakes as a manager where I put together a plan because I have so many ideas and say, okay, this is what. And I have also, I think, I'm good at data analytics, at analyzing data and figuring out things. So I say, okay, this is what we should do. This is the data that prove this, and let's go for it. And I'm passionate. That's cool. So I get to get people to follow me on that, and that's great. And I found that to have really people inspire and embracing, it has to come from them as well.
Yes, fully agreed.
And that's the challenge that I've been facing, and I'm still facing it, because I need to kind of restrain myself and push people to be creative, and I need. I mean, I'm getting better at it, but I still need to grow on that. It's definitely a growth area for me. So what I want to say is that as a leader, you don't have to be the most creative person, but you need to foster that creativity through your team.
Absolutely. And there I'm 100% with you. And I have similar struggles as yourself. And sort of the way I've addressed that is, yes, I'll come up with these ideas and the plan. And, however, when I bring the team together for design thinking, I try not to put my ideas forward. I try to park my ideas, don't let anybody know about my ideas, and deliberately take a back seat, or in terms of I'll question, I will probe, I will push, I will say, okay, we need 10 more ideas. So I will push and encourage the team to come forward. So every single person to come forward so that we debate their ideas. We elevate their ideas. We use the ideas as part of the plan. And it's only when we've exhausted those motions that I'll bring in my thoughts and directions and ideas. But you're right. There's also the tendency, in addition to the fact that we have to restrain ourselves, there's always also the tendency of the leader always being right.
Yeah.
So if I come forward with my idea, that's the one everybody's going to want to run with. So, we definitely have to restrain ourselves as leaders, to let other ideas bubble to the surface, to have that dialogue, around those other ideas before we put ours on the table, and try to either merge the two, and figure the way forward. So you're right. It's something that we all have to do. I struggle with it, but I think right now I'm in a good place in doing that more systematically than in the past, when I would just run with mine and we'll just go. We would not stop to think. We'll just be off to the races. So I think I've actually succeeded in actually fostering the ideas of the group and every single member of the team.
Good job. I'm still working on it, but I've learned one or two powerful questions like, what are we missing? And with that, I say, that helps people to say,
Yes.
to pause and try to think. And I'm using it quite often.
Right. So yeah, we have to probe and encourage and just get everybody in this ideation creativity, this mindset of creativity, and then kind of build on that. And back to the question you asked me before around leadership. One of the things that one of the things I've taken significantly from sport is resilience. It's resilience. In sport, you fail so many times, and to be successful, you learn to pick yourself up, learn from the failure. Again, because you're in a low place. So you really have to get yourself off the ground, reinstill that confidence, that superhuman confidence, take those learnings and go out and just keep pushing forward, always pushing forward. So for me, that's definitely one of the experiences and learnings that I just translate directly in being a leader, is just that resilience. Failure is just learning, picking yourself up from the lowest of the low, building yourself back up, and you're out there, just keep on pushing to get to the goal. So I think that's an important a quality that I try to instill in the team, is just that resilience, that really deep resilience.
That's a good one. Changing gears a bit, how do you keep learning and growing as a leader?
And that's where you were right. You caught me out when I said I wasn't curious. I'm crazy curious. I'm sorry, but it was probably I was going completely. I'm just crazy curious. I love to read. I love to learn. I love to know. I'm always starting from a point that I don't know much. So I'm just hungry for knowledge. And, it's something that I try to drive in my team is just to know just to know as much as possible. And again, that's what I was saying earlier. That's the beauty of us working with our customers in different environments, that I'm always learning. The learning, the preparation and the learning. So before I go meet any customer, I try to learn as much as possible about their business, about themselves, about how they use technology, fun facts about the company. Just that deep need, willingness and desire just to learn and just keep learning. And the learnings could be in any area. So yes, I love tech. So I read a lot about tech, but also in the business area, in whatever it is, in politics. I love politics. I just love to learn. And so, for me, it's an easy part of, staying ahead of things, is just that I just love doing it. So I do it all the time.
Do you have a book to recommend? I mean, something that you found so good that you want everyone to have?
Of course, most of the books, most of the ones that impact me a lot are the ones from my culture. So yes, I read a lot of modern tech business books and everything, but yeah, all the books from the African culture, they impact me a lot. There's a lot of old books, which we grew up with. Chinua Achebe, Things Fall Apart. He's a Nigerian author. The Nelson Mandela memoirs are just fabulous to read about, his journey. And again, his is a story of resilience. When you read his book, where he came from, what he went through, what he was able to accomplish, and even how he, after his 2 terms, he left. For me, that is a book that every African leader should read and be inspired by and be guided by, because a lot of the flaws we have in Africa, it's just power corrupts, and not having that deep-seated love for your country, that deep-seated, really that servant leadership. Yeah, you're a leader to serve and not to obtain all the trappings. So yes, if there was one book for me, it's Nelson Mandela's memoirs, because it's a journey that every African and every African leader should be inspired by and seek to follow as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and maybe people in America could benefit from it.
Definitely, I think. Yeah, he was 2 years. He did his 2 terms as president, and he accomplished what he accomplished. And as he said, I am not. There's nobody that is indispensable, and he said, "I'm not indispensable." Yes, he did lead his nation through what was and could have been a pretty ugly period if he wasn't who he was. Mm-hmm. But he realized he's not indispensable, and there will be other great leaders who will come up. Yes, there may be troubled times, but there'll be other great leaders who will come up and lead the nation. So, you're right. I think, a lot of leaders, a lot of countries, there's a lot to learn from it. And I think we could all take a little bit from it.
Are you hiring at the moment?
Yes, we are hiring. We're going through, for Orange, we're going through a deep transformation. We're changing the culture of the organization. And that for me, as well, is a learning. I've never been through such a deep-seated change in culture for a very large organization. When you look at the whole of Orange, we're about almost 150,000. I'm in Orange Business. We're 30,000 people, and we're trying to change the culture of this behemoth to become nimble, agile, more innovative and customer centric. And so it's a complete transformation. I am looking to hire people, and in the same vein of what I'm always looking for, I'm looking for people that are super smart, super curious and creative, who of course need to be very well prepared and planned. But right now we're looking for agility and innovative types. So we're going through quite a journey. It's a fun journey, by the way. It's such a fun journey to be part of such a deep change that we don't have the playbook. I certainly haven't done it before, so I'm learning as we go along. We're figuring out as we go along, so it makes it even more exciting.
Yeah, and also, I've been still keeping an eye on Orange and Orange Business Services, and there was a quite dramatic change at the top.
Yes,
we have a CEO. You have a CEO at Orange, and she did came out. She it was 2 years ago, or I read recently about it, and she said that she did coming out.
Yes. We've had a lot of, so at the group level, we have a new CEO of the group. Her name is Christel Hedman, and the new CEO of Orange Business. You're talking about her, Aliette Mounier-Lampré. Yes, she's, it's very refreshing.
It is, because it used to be managed by white males in their 60s, always coming from the same background.
Yes.
Telecom Paris or big schools in France. And so that's very refreshing.
So extremely refreshing. Interesting. She was a semi-pro. So she played football, soccer, with Paris Saint-Germain. Diversity, so diverse, very empathetic. From my view, is a fearless leader. She's really a fearless leader. Again, like we're large organization, and she's not afraid to change things. So she's kind of stated a new vision, extremely open in terms of communication and very direct. Also, again, very different. It's always interesting, kind of, sharing plans and having that back and forth with her about plans. Cause she's, again, very direct, very open. She pushes hard, of course. Emphasis, as you said, on diversity. So, that I believe will help the culture change. But we got a long ways to go. Changing the culture and the essence of the organization is not a simple thing at all. But I think we have the right leader to do it, and I think we're all engaged. We all believe so. The added challenge is, the business environment right now. 3 months is like 3 years back then. So we got to do it very, very quickly. So, it's a high speed, transformation that we're trying to operate, but very deep one as well. So it's interesting.
Yeah, I bet. So what are some of the profiles you are looking for if you have open positions? So,
we're looking for positions, pretty much across the board. So, looking for sales engineers, pre-sales folks, across pretty much all the technologies that we operate in. So of course, connectivity and cybersecurity. I think the real areas of shortage, and this is cybersecurity, data, AI, and analytics. That's where there's a lot of, shortage in terms of skills. But overall, sort of technologists who seek to understand the customer and how we could help them achieve their business objectives, how we could help them get to the business outcomes by utilizing technology. That is such a difficult thing to do. And so, of course, we're looking for the best in that area.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. On that note, just want to to give you a reminder, when you hired me, I was only 24.
Wow. Wow.
So young people can learn fast and thrive.
For me, actually, when I'm looking to hire, I try as much as possible to hire young people, because they bring such a different perspective, such fresh thinking. They're fearless because, they haven't been through all the challenges that we've been through. So they're really fearless. They have a really different vision. And so for me, the young people are an inspiration that I learn from. I try to bring as many as possible into the organization. It's a joy that, we were able to spend some time together. I learned a lot from you as well. And the energy and the craziness and the creativity you brought was completely refreshing, and it pushed me to become a better me. Having people like you working alongside me, we had a lot of creative types, a lot of young people as well. It just makes all of us better because we each bring so many different facets together to that teamwork, and it just makes all of that better. So I've certainly been better by sort of all the people that I've worked with.
Thank you. Last question. What other leaders should I interview next? Who can you introduce me to?
Wow. Now that is a very good question. Yeah, definitely. Okay, she has a crazy schedule, but it would be fun to interview Aliette.
I'd love to.
She's incredibly inspiring. Her background, her vision of leadership, definitely very, very inspiring. I think certainly in the Bay Area here, you have again with a lot of tech people here. There are so many to tap into with fascinating backgrounds. And so, I'll have to take that one away. Beyond Aliette, no one else springs to mind. I'm thinking of so many different people that I'll have to kind of structure my thoughts and then, recommend somebody and connect you with them, to also share their thoughts on leadership. And again, so that we all learn from each other and become better.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for that. And I'm not limited to the Bay Area. I've been interviewing people in Australia. So Amanda Spencer was one. Chris O'Wall was another one. I have interviews coming up next with people in the UK. So so I'd love for someone in France. Yeah.
Okay. I will certainly think a lot of names come to mind, but I'll make sure I do the connect. One person certainly, so many people have influenced me. One person that will be fun to talk to is Rob Wilcock. I think you know Rob.
Oh yeah.
He was my manager before he left Orange recently.
Okay.
Also got a fascinating background. And again, life is fascinating because you have a Brit, and he was former Marine in the British Army, and he went through IBM before he got to Orange. And then you have me, this African kid, former athlete, and we got together and it was just magical. We just worked so well together, although we're from such diverse backgrounds. But again, we each brought different qualities. We liked and we respected each other, and it was magic. So, certainly Rob would be a very interesting person to interview, because he would have a completely different perspective of leadership, but huge experience and a really fun guy as well. So yeah, maybe Rob Wilcock.
Okay.
Next to Aliette, and then I'm sure I'll come up with a host of other names.
Looking forward to it. Thank you, Sam. Thank you for your time and your, kindness to come here all the way from Atlanta just for me. I know.
It was a pleasure. Again, you were also, and I'm not saying it lightly, you were certainly an inspiration for me.
Thank you.
I loved everything about working with you, being with you, and knowing you as a person as well. Time gets in the way, of course, and we're all running around like mad, but you're certainly an inspiration, and I love seeing how far you've got in your journey and the new directions you're taking. And so definitely my initial instinct of who you were and what your capabilities are were even less than what you've become. So I'm just amazed.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time, and looking forward to to our next discussion.
Absolutely, looking forward to our journeys ahead.
Yes, indeed. Cheers.
Thanks, Romain.
Thanks. You stayed until the end. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Paid Forward Society. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe and share it with at least 2 people who would benefit from this discussion. Your support helps me reach more people and make a greater impact. You can also help me get discovered by leaving a 5-star rating and a review on your favorite podcast platform. I appreciate your support and look forward to continuing this journey with you. Bye.